So I was looking around online trying to find some explanations as to why the Twins have been so bad hitting with runners in the scoring position. And I came across, honestly, maybe the most shocking stat I've ever seen, honestly. But after I kind of dug deeper, I found a good explanation behind that, and it kind of all clicked and made sense. So we're going to take a look into some really nerdy, really specific situational hitting stuff. But kind of the first thing I want to touch on is something I mentioned in a members only video recently, which is that the Twins have been so much better, not only with the bases empty, but with runners on even. It's not as if they've just been blanketly bad with runners on. It's specifically runners in scoring position. They rank 12th in OPS with the bases empty. They rank 9th in OPS when there's runners on base altogether, but they rank 22nd in all of baseball in hitting an OPS with runners in scoring position. We'll get into some more details on the guts of that. It's not the best thing to look at, just straight up OPS. More in just a second. With runners in scoring position, the Twins have the 7th lowest strikeout rate. With runners in scoring position, the Twins have the 7th lowest strikeout rate in all of baseball. Overall, in all situations, this has actually been a pretty good team in terms of strikeouts and discipline. They are 10th lowest in strikeout percentage in all of baseball, again, in all situations. They are 5th lowest in whiff percentage, the amount that they swing and miss. They have the 5th lowest whiff percentage in baseball. Their rate of swinging at pitches outside of the zone, their chase rate is the 11th lowest. So I think, doing a little myth busting first, we can throw that one out. This has been actually a team that isn't striking out a ton. They haven't been really chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone. So what is this stat that just knocked me over? When there is a runner at third, and with less than 2 outs, runner at third base, less than 2 outs, with how bad the Twins have been with runners in scoring position, you would think that they would be just rotten in that stat, right? They have the best, they have the highest percentage in all of baseball of getting that runner around to score. Again, runner at third base, less than 2 outs. The Twins have been the best lineup in baseball at getting that runner to score. They have gotten that guy around 57.5% of the time compared to league average, which is 51.1. That just blew my mind. That makes no sense. This got me, honestly, to be thinking. I looked this up on Baseball Reference. I was like, man, is something wrong? Is something going on here? I've never once felt that way about Baseball Reference. I've never had any reason to, really second guess any of the stats they have, but this felt so out of line with the viewing experience of watching the 2022 Minnesota Twins. I was almost about to go to Baseball Savant or somewhere else to sort of run some searches to double check that. But I looked at their next stat on their situational hitting page, and it all clicked. It all made sense, because while the Twins are the best team in baseball at getting that guy around from third with less than 2 outs, they are the worst team in baseball at advancing the runner when he's on second base with no outs, which that probably doesn't surprise anybody. That also makes more sense as to why they might be high on the other stat. We'll get to that in just a sec. But just once again to reiterate, runner on second base, nobody out. The Twins are the worst team in baseball this year at advancing that runner. Now, that could be advancing him just to third. That could be advancing him all around to score in that place. Just any general advance. They are the worst in baseball. They advance that runner only 42.1% of the time. League average is 49.4% of the time. So, that kind of lends itself to some explanation. And, although the Twins are the best team at getting that runner over from third, they have had fewer opportunities because they're so poor at getting the guy from second to third. They have had 28 fewer opportunities than league average, with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. And they've had 44 fewer of those opportunities than Cleveland has, which Cleveland is the second best team at getting that guy around to score. So, again, while the Twins have been excellent in that case, they just haven't had it as much as a lot of teams. They're not in the bottom of the league. I think they're in the bottom 5 or 10 in the league in those opportunities. But, with this being the case, I think even a very never bunter, sort of like myself, you have to consider, especially with personnel. You think about somebody like Sandy Leone, if he's up there with the runner at second and no outs, I think you're bunting all day. He's not been a very good hitter over his career. But he's not the only guy. All the other guys that are up from AAA who probably shouldn't be up right now if everybody's healthy, your Jake Caves, your Tim Beckhams. Gary Sanchez, he has not been good. Max Kepler, he has not been good. You have to start to consider with some of these guys just the way things have gone to, open it up to a little bit more small ball, a little bit more bunting. I think they have been doing a little bit more in that regard. And it does depend on the personnel. There are certain guys up there who I don't think you want to try to be bunting with, even just temporarily, maybe to break the ice. Try some different things, maybe try some more bunting, but just a different approach in some of these situations, especially with a runner on second base and no outs. It's pretty alarming that they are dead last at advancing that runner. And then, on the other hand, they've been excellent once they get a guy to third with less than 2 outs. So, you hopefully, my thing with bunting is always, one, it's easier said than done. Bunting is actually much more difficult than I think most people kind of gauge it as. And number 2, okay, you bunt the guy over, you just gave the defense an out. Now you only have 2 outs to work with. In theory, you hope your next guy up can just hit a fly ball to the outfield and at least get a sacrifice fly. But, all of that is much more easier said than done. You can't really impose your will on pitchers, I don't think, these days, as you could in previous eras. The guys were pitching to contact in certain times. I think a lot of pitchers were plenty happy at avoiding a big inning. Back in the day, there weren't as many strikeouts, but we can go on and on and on about that. But that's my 2 cents. But basically, I just kind of want to mainly share that information and just how extreme that this team, literally the best at getting the guy in from third, literally the worst at moving him over from second. It doesn't make any sense, really. It doesn't.